I mean, West Indies got some rising stars right now.
Guys like you might see Maxwell, and I mean he's a different level. Yes, Puran, as I say, game changer.
Hey there, cricket lovers. Welcome back to another episode of Reverse Scoop. And today, again, I have my buddy with me, Mr. Mark Audain. Mark and I are discussing West Indies' success over England. Wow, Mark, what's going on, man? How are you doing? Welcome back to the show again. Are you ready to talk about this West Indies' success over England in the T20s and in the 50 over series? So what do we got going on, Mark? What are you thinking?
Yes, good afternoon, Nabeel. Thanks for having me back on the show. Really looking forward to discuss the West Indies' current success in the ODI and the T20 series just concluded against England. As I say, during the World Cup, I predicted West Indies would win England. I mean, I don't know if you remember that. And the reason why I said that, because England was such on a low, losing, and they didn't really qualify the World Cup. So I know West Indies, since they didn't participate, most of the players are well rested and eager to show their worth. And that was one of the reasons why I made that prediction. But as I say, I'm happy to see we beat the old enemy, England. Hopefully we could make good progress against the other ICC participant countries.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, West Indies got some rising stars right now. You know, we've seen guys like Gudakesh Moti really step it up, and Alec Athanaze, a young batter in the ODIs, scored 115 runs in 3 matches, showing glimpses of what the future holds. And obviously with Shea Hope scoring 192 runs again in the ODI, leading the team. A lot of good things are happening. So we don't have a lot of ODI cricket coming up either, right? So how do they approach their ODI setup with these youngsters? Like, do they bring them on into the T20 setup as well? I know we saw the T20s of the West Indies lineup. It looked a little different than the ODIs. So what do you think the thought process is there?
Well, since there's not going to be too much listed ODI cricket, I mean, it's the right thing to do, but I say most of these young batsmen, I really don't want to see them play too much of T20 cricket, because what happens in T20 cricket, you get into that bad habit because you have to up the strike rate and and logistics of the game. I think for the World Cup, if they stick with these set of players, I think we're in good hand. Maybe they could include Athanaze, because he seems to have a good head on his shoulder. He plays regular cricket shots. He don't play unorthodox shots. So, and if you notice, in T20 cricket, a lot of successful batsmen are the batsmen who plays orthodox cricket shots. Guys like you might see Maxwell, and I mean he's a different level, who switch hits and sweeps and all this. But most of the West Indies batsmen are conventional batsmen. So I think they should stick with these guys for the T20 World Cup coming up.
Oh yeah, because the point is to build their team, right? What the best team should look like for that World Cup coming on. And now we've got Akil Hussain, who's been an impact player for the West Indies throughout the tour. We've got Gudakesh Moti, Andre Russell, obviously coming back as the cricketing phoenix that he is, and he's said that he wants to come out looking like a UFC fighter at the World Cup, which can be dangerous for, other teams. So what are you thinking there, Mark? You think he's got some blood pumping again, that West Indian, blood in there that's starting to boil?
Yes, I think Russell always want to do well. I mean, Russell is a star, but as I say, maybe lack of consistent cricket at that level in the past couple of months. That's why we probably saw some inconsistencies in the T20s against England. But as I say, Russell is a star, and once Russell is fit, I think Russell's problem is fitness. Once he could remain fit, his knee doesn't really bother him or worry him. I think you get the best out of Russell. I mean, half an hour Russell with the bat could be 60, 70 runs. I mean, his bowling, as I say, once he's running in, bowling with all his effort, normally he usually bowls well. But anytime you see he starts to just skip in and jog in from short paces, he never really bowls properly. As I say, it's exciting times for West Indies. With Russell back, we have another exciting batsman there as well, is Shafin Rutherford. You forget to mention Rutherford. Rutherford is a very good orthodox cricketing batsman. I'm very excited to see him in the setup as well. As I say, Powell, the skipper in the T20 team, powerful strike of the ball. It's all power and power for Rahman Powell. I mean, so I think we looked good. The future looks good for West Indies cricket.
Then you got guys like Brendan King and Nicholas Puran. Let's not forget those guys either, because those guys are superstars as well.
Yes, Puran, as I say, game changer. I mean, only knows one way, just aggression, batting aggressive most of the times. King, what I like to see with King is a little bit more consistency. Sometimes King is a bit hot and cold. Made my 82 and then some low scores and then a 35. We'd love to see him be a little bit more consistent. But as I say, he's a very good batsman as well.
Oh, absolutely. So the West Indian team is looking good. Any room for Hetty to come back into this team, or Hetty's looking at a bench for the foreseeable future?
Well, the problem with Hetmai lately is inconsistency. Very inconsistent. I don't know if his mind is set to playing for West Indies, but I know when he played franchise cricket or in the IPL, it's a different player. You wonder if this guy's the same guy who when he plays for West Indies. So sometimes it could be mind games, or as I say, it could be off the field. I'm not sure. Or he's not really showing that confidence when he played for West Indies. But when you see him in the IPL franchise, man, he's a superb, fantastic player. But let's hope he could get over that. I mean, he's still a young man. Was it 26 or 25, something like that? So let's hope Hetmeyer could get it
Yeah,
together
young.
because I say once he gets it together, I mean, he's a destructive batsman, right? And for West Indies' sake, I would really love to see him get back to form. You understand? To top form. And he's always a good inclusion in the West Indies team. Whether he's on the bench or playing the level, they should include him in the setup still. Sometimes, as I say, batsmen go through bad patches, but as selectors, you have to show faith when a player has the ability, and it's just left to the player now to come to realization that okay, I need to step up to the plate and I need to perform and be consistent. Because I say the key to success as a batsman is consistency. I mean, he has a good strike rate, has a wide range array of strokes on both sides, on and off side, and he hits the ball down the ground as well. So let's hope for cricket's sake and West Indies' sake, Hetmeyer get it together.
Do you think he will fit in the lineup though with Russell and Rodman Powell in that middle order, and Russell with the bat as well? And he took 7 wickets as well, so he was the second highest wicket taker in that concluded T20 series, and with 7 wickets, and obviously scored a couple of 50s as well. So he's coming on like Andre Russell that people know that can be, and obviously now he's matured, looks fit. So do you think even if West Indies cricket gave him a chance, you think he can get into that 11? If he can, who will you take out? Will it be somebody like Johnson Charles maybe that's in the lineup, or Romario Shepherd, or Sherfane Rutherford?
No, I think it would be Rutherford. It'd be like for like. Both left-handed batsmen play similarly, but what happened, Rutherford could bowl a few overs. That's the advantage with Rutherford. But again, if you have Powell, Russell, King, Shea Hope, fine at the same time, there's. I
Puran
think you should play Hetmeyer. Yeah, and Puran as well.
and Kyle
You
and
should play
Kyle Mayers
Hetmeyer because,
and Kyle
well,
Mayers.
Myers is right now. I don't see Myers in the starting up 11. To be honest with you, he's not too consistent.
But he
He
seems like
gives
a
a good
player
score every
who
now
has
and
a
again.
long leash with the board or maybe the management. I'm not sure because he's been hot and cold too, but he's been stuck with for the last 2 years. I mean, his numbers don't really blow
Yeah,
off the chart.
give Jack his jacket. He's a very good player. All right, he's a very good player, impact player. If you batting at the top order, or you open the batting like what he does most of the time in T20, you need to perform a little bit more often. You understand? His bowling is he could give you a good 3 4 overs as well. I mean, when he's on, he's on. He swings the ball if there's any swing in the atmosphere, or he swings it a long way. But I think I might see him struggling right now to get in the team from the last setup against England. As I say, he didn't perform too well, So if you want to go with, cricket is stats and numbers. If you want to look at the numbers, they might just go with the guys who produced, who performed well in the last series.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally agree there, man. And, Kyle Mayers, as I said, I mean, it seems that he's stuck. He's like people have in the West Indies cricket have shown faith in him, right? Obviously, he's an impact player, but doesn't seem the same case with a guy like Hetty, right? Because I mean, he I think played one game and then he was benched, or maybe taken out of the lineup within this T20 international series. I think he did play a game or two, right? So,
Yeah,
do you think there's like different rules for different players, and even though they could be in the same position, they may struggle, but different rules. I mean, different rules apply for different players. Do you think that happens, that kind of thing, or is it just a myth?
yeah, it happened. Listen, to me, no, it happens. To be honest with you, if you look at it, it happens. Some people don't have the same opportunity or same luck as other players. All right. So sometimes it's a different stroke for different folks. You know, and again, it comes back to management.
Yeah.
Who is in the management? I mean, who have more faith in certain players than the other? You know, that's what it really comes down to. I don't really want to pick and say, well, because he's from here or there. But as I say, sometimes, and again, I think the reason why, because of his all-round ability. I mean, he's a good fielder, good batsman, and good bowler. You know, so he brings something extra to the plate than just say
Yeah.
a normal batsman does, right? So I think that's the reason why they're really sticking with him.
Cool, man. Now let's talk about England, Mark. What went wrong for England? I know,